Hi, this is Jill Ciminillo, and today we are with the 2021 Hyundai Elantra. And if you've ever watched a video that I've done, I usually rattle off a lot of specifications and I talk about the details and features and statistics, and I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this vehicle and I'm going to tell you what I like about it, and I'm going to tell you a couple things that I don't like. I figure you can get the specs from someplace else, and in fact, I'm going to be writing an article and you can even go there. I will post the link in my information section. So, what do I like? Let's start with the exterior styling. And first and foremost, I love the edginess of the styling. You've got some really strong lines on the side. You've got a little zigzag. I think we were on the Consumer Guide Car Stuff podcast, we were calling it the Zorro slash. So I like that, and it looks a lot better in person than it does in photos and probably on this video right now. But the thing that I want to point out, this is an N Line model, so this is a little bit more of a higher performance version, and you want that to be a little bit special. So I love this black trim here. This really sets it apart. It looks very smart, and I want to call attention to the N Line badging right here. You'll see some N Line badging on the side. You'll also see it inside the car. I think it sets it apart. It looks really nice. I like it. Something else I'd like to point out that is a little bit different on the N Line version is this black cap to the side mirror. Another thing that just makes it stand out and makes it look a little bit nicer, a little bit sportier. So another thing in the light column. The last thing I want to point out to you on the exterior of the vehicle is the wheel covers right here. I love the design, and I'm particularly fond of this little Hyundai badge right here that pops out and has some nice beveled edges around the side. Okay, so now that we've moved into the inside, there is even more to love. And a lot of that has to do with the styling. So the first thing you're going to notice in the N Line version is the red stitching on the seats. You've got it on the steering wheel, and you're also going to see it on the door accents. Another thing to point out is you're going to have the N badging, again, repeated inside the vehicle. So you've got it on the seat, you've got it on this gear shift, and you have it on the steering wheel. I love the N logo. I think it looks really nice, and again, makes this Elantra N Line look really special. Obviously, I'm not set up to drive right now, but this is a 6-speed manual transmission, and another thing that I really like about it is actually the 6-speed manual transmission. It's a very short throw shift with smooth, easy shifts, and the clutch itself has a lower clutch point, and you don't really have to push hard to get it to go all the way down to the floor. And for me, somebody who lives in Chicago, that's really an important thing to note, because it means that I'm not fighting with the clutch and I'm not fighting with the transmission. So this could actually be an everyday driver in a city. I didn't mind the shifting for the stop and start traffic. So I think that is a huge win on Hyundai's part. I'd also like to point out that this vehicle has the wireless charging, and get this, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. A lot of automakers have started to make the switch to wireless charging, but they still make you plug in to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that tends to be a bit of a pet peeve of mine. So I'm going to give a huge thank you to Hyundai for not doing that on this vehicle. Now, while we're sitting here in the driver's seat, I do have one little thing that I don't like, and that is going to be the view out the rear. I thought the rear visibility was a little bit limited because the rear window is just a little bit squished. So I couldn't see as far back as I wanted to see while I was driving. Not a huge problem, just not ideal. Definitely not a deal breaker. All right, so this is actually my driving position, and I wanted to point out that I have a really good, comfortable position here. I don't feel like I'm too close to the steering wheel. I can see out of the windshield very well, and the seats themselves are really comfortable for somebody who is a 5th percentile female, aka about 5 feet tall. The seat bottoms aren't too long, and the comfort is really high. I also want to point out that while there is some extra bolstering here because these are sport seats, I don't feel like they're so big that I have to maneuver around them to shift. It was very comfortable while I was driving. I didn't even really notice the bolsters other than to say, hey, this is a comfortable seat that I'm sitting in. Now, the last thing that I want to point out that I like about the Hyundai Elantra N Line is the trunk. So you push the button, it opens fairly easily, which is great, but the real kicker is the fact that there is a lot of space back here. For example, you could really easily fit a set of golf clubs back here, mostly because there's a bump out at that end and a bump out at this end. So golf clubs will fit easily. Now, this opening here, not super large. If you have a box that needs to go to FedEx or UPS, you're probably going to want to put it in the back seat, but several roller boards will fit back here, no problem for a road trip, and I think that is a huge bonus for a compact sedan. All right, so that is my quick first look at the 2021 Hyundai Elantra N Line. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention any pricing on this, so this is the one spec I'm going to give you. Base price for this car with the 6-speed manual transmission is $24,100. And that is something else to like. So you get some up-level performance, a really smart-looking car, a lot of cool features for under $25,000. All right, so thanks for crawling around the Hyundai Elantra N Line with me, and I hope you will subscribe if you liked this video, and be sure to find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Jill Ciminillo.